Wow, what a game! What phenomenal games this was in the last Final Four and the big whatever. I don't really pay attention to sports, but
March Madness. Yeah.
What I do know is that a lot of college athletes have been granted access to like brand deals and collaborations with big brands like Nike and everything. So my question is, because I don't know this business, nor do I know any of the players, do you have like one or two players that you like have this idea, oh, they should be with this brand or they should be with that brand?
For college or for...
Do you not watch college ball?
No, I watch college, but like they're so...
All right, so let me like widen the perspective. What I mean is... what I'm really trying to say is, what's a really funny brand that you would pair with a college ball player? Hypothetically.
Oh, like probably like a MeUndies or like a weird random trying to sexualize a college athlete or something like that. I don't think that they would be cool with it.
I would. There's a part of me that wants to pair one of the ball players with Our Place. And like put them in a kitchen with an apron, and they're like they're these big guys like trying to cook meals.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Honestly, wait, we have another guest here. Do you have any ideas?
Oh, do I have an idea? Okay, I don't know. I mean, let's think. What comes to mind? Let's do like a socks campaign.
Socks, yeah.
You know,
solid, truly solid.
Everyone needs socks, right?
But it could be like happy socks.
I was just gonna say
100%.
Or let's bring back Stance.
Stance. I feel like Stance does the NBA socks still.
Do they?
Yeah, I think they do. As you were starting that, I was hoping you were going to go into like breaking down the games, talking about your bracket. How was your bracket? How did you do? Filling out all 64 games.
My what?
Let's get to the show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Manly Things. Podcast where we're talking men's fashion. And today, to break down the Met Gala with us, we have Chaise Dennis with us.
One of the kings of fashion.
That is so kind.
King of Rodeo, honestly.
King of Rodeo.
We'll
God,
do
I
that.
wish I had
All right,
that
I like that.
Chase is a fellow stylist, along with a brand rep for a brand, a PR guy.
Yeah.
Whenever I see him in stores, he is. I don't know how he's there because you got 5 different jobs. So
listen, I'm a chameleon.
Yeah,
that's the only way to describe me, to be honest.
Well, we love it. My name is Evan Simonich, celebrity menswear stylist. Sally John over here.
My name is Sally John, and I am trying to teach my dog how to lay an egg.
Solid. Okay. Good luck with that.
Thank you. It's getting weirder and weirder by the week. Jesus Christ, I'm running out of ideas.
So we wanted to have Chaise here to talk about the Met Gala, the theme of the Met Gala this year. And I feel like there was no better person. We've known each other again for a while.
Yeah.
And with all your different jobs, with all your, different paths that you've decided to choose, I thought you'd be, great to discuss this with. So thank you for being here.
I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah. He's also probably one of the better people to talk to because look at how he's dressed.
Fashion.
This is really simple today.
Can you? Yeah.
I feel like I'm not decked out like y'all.
Do you want to give us the brands? Do you mind throwing out what you're wearing today? I don't mind.
I'm wearing. My friends are the Brain Dead guys, so these are some Brain Dead Converse.
What?
Yeah.
You know Brain Dead?
I know Brain Dead.
That's awesome.
So I've got some Brain Deads on. I've got some Paul Smith socks, some Junya Watanabe jeans.
How many Paul Smith socks do you have?
I have a lot. They're like in rotation.
They're great.
They're great socks.
He just name dropped Junya Watanabe and Brain Dead, and he's like, yeah, it's nothing special.
It's very casual. It gets even more casual. I'm wearing like an All Saints tee.
Yeah.
And then like a Gap shirt. And then like a whole bunch of jewelry. The jewelry is like where it's really at.
Yeah.
Can you?
Okay.
Yeah.
These though?
These are like, I got these in Paris. These are like all vintage.
Amazing.
And then this is from Vray. So it's a little diamond cross. Kimitake diamond necklace. Some diamond rings from Anna Sheffield. And then a diamond ring from Vray.
Beautiful.
Real casual.
Gorgeous.
I like the wear. Like you tell these are vintage because the wear on these is so nice.
Yeah. I got these at like a little market. And I was 16th or 17th.
Yeah.
And these were like super cheap.
We need to get Sally to Paris or anywhere in Europe. You have yet to go to Europe, correct? I feel like the shopping for you there would just
changer.
be perfect. We won't ever see you again, but
Yikes.
yeah,
One of my friends is moving to Berlin, and I'm thinking about going
Not a
with
bad
him.
idea.
Knock it off the bucket list.
Can you say what you're wearing today?
Of course I can. I'm wearing my Margiela Tabby cowboy boots with my Dr. Collector's Japanese denim wide leg double pleated jeans. Then I have this blank sweatshirt from Blanks by 13 and my jewelry because I love my jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
This is an Italian designer. I've never been to Italy, but this is an Italian designer. This is Locket, and this is from, what is this?
Go ahead.
14 Karat.
Oh yeah.
You know that place?
fancy.
Oh, love that place.
Fancy.
Wait, 14 carats on Beverly. Just
Yes.
Then I have 2 Spinelli rings.
Love Spinelli.
This is from Blue Nile. This is from Dries Van Noten. It's my new jade ring.
That's a nice one.
And then I found this ring on the corner of a Manhattan street. I think it was like 52nd and 9th. I think some guy got really upset with his wife and said, "This is bullshit," and
just
threw
chucked
his
it. And now
wedding
you have
ring.
it.
And now I have a 14 karat gold thumb ring. It's
I like
a
it.
size
What a story.
14.
Huge. That
It
is
is.
huge. Yeah.
You.
Todd Snyder's suit. We got a James Purse T-shirt on. Tecovas boots. This was the suit that Chris Hemsworth wore in the Ray-Ban commercial, the Super Bowl commercial. So yeah,
Casual.
Wait,
He
so
was-
that
he wasn't
suit
gonna-
was
he
near
wasn't gonna-
Kris Jenner?
it was near Kris Jenner.
Oh
yeah,
my
and Chris Pratt,
God.
yeah. I like that. No, he still has the wax on it from a moment in the commercial. So that's how you know it's authentic. Yeah.
Vintage.
Yeah, exactly. My jewelry, worn over time again, and my only ring is my wedding ring.
He's
I
a
love
taken
my
man.
wife.
Love you, girl.
Love my.
What's a watch?
The Rolex GMT.
You always, you know what? Recently, you've been skipping over the watch, and I think you're a
Because I
little
feel like
insecure about it.
Oh no, I'm definitely not insecure about it. I do love it. I just feel like I wear it almost every day, every episode now. So there's
Yeah, I know.
say,
He's
come
like,
on,
he's
talk
like,
about
the
let me
fact that I don't talk about it.
Yeah,
doing your thing, you're doing your whole outfit, and then out of nowhere you're just like,
Oh, this?
this is
Oh,
two
yeah.
two people,
got it. We're like, so what's up?
right?
Anyway, we're here to talk about the Met Gala. Okay, before we get into this year's theme, I wanted to give a little bit of a tutorial of what the Met Gala is, if that makes any sense. Have you guys ever seen the documentary? Is it called The First Monday in May?
First Monday in May.
First Monday in May. I highly recommend it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, good little fashion. I feel like there are more fashion documentaries based off of designers. This is one of the first ones that's based off of like an event, and yeah, couldn't recommend it more. Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, the first Monday of May, which means it's the Met Gala because it's the annual tradition.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I honestly, I have this thing about time where I don't pay attention to it, and I never know when like the award shows are coming up, when the Met Gala. I always think it's different
Every year. Yeah. It's almost like the Super Bowl, where like it's usually the second, Sunday in February.
You anticipate it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. No, but this is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This is their big gala to help fund a lot of the artwork and exhibitions that they have throughout the year. And this year for the costume, I won't say costume department, but the Costume Institute, it's superfine tailoring black style, which I think is a great, timely,
Yeah.
right theme, don't you think?
1000%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
Totally. No, I think it's a great theme, and it's timely, especially considering the climate of the world that we're in, and also like the state of fashion with, I guess, really all the guests that are on the chair or as co-chairs, excuse me.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's exciting.
The co-chairs this year are LeBron James, Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, Pharrell, and Lewis Hamilton.
Oof.
Is there any issues on the fact that there's no women? Because if you think about there are some amazing, especially amazing black women who wear incredible tailored suits on a regular basis. You'd think that there'd be some, but
You know what's interesting? I think there's honorary chairs this year. So I think they've given honorary chairs to, I think, Doechii,
amazing.
Please.
who's incredible.
Give her
right?
everything.
Exactly, same. I'm obsessed.
Well, especially after like the Grammys and her and the Tom Brown
Tom
stuff.
Brown looks
Yeah.
God. I was gonna say because Tom doesn't even really go. He doesn't do that typically. Where they dress, like,
He doesn't put
all
his
the-
clothes
all
on
the
dancers.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
it was incredible.
That's presence. That's presence. Yeah, I mean, I obviously it would have been interesting to see what women could have been included as chairs, but I think there's going to be a strong impact from the women that appear and probably will pop up at like the Louis Vuitton table. I'm assuming. I'm just making an assumption.
I like that.
I will say that based on my research, that a lot of the images that I found, along with looking up dandyism and the theme of the Metropolitan Opera, were, or the Met Gala, were generally men. However, recently there is a group of people in Congo called sapeurs who, men and women alike, are dressing in a very similar fashion to express obviously political themes and everything
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, it would have been cool to see maybe like a Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I immediately go towards
Because
her.
like she's always done suiting and tailoring like so well, but also I'm sure she'll be there. Like she'll have a presence. It would be crazy if she wasn't.
Well,
she's
we talk
worn
about
Comme des Garçons for like
yeah.
the last few years. I can't wait to see what she's doing.
I'm saying.
Well, if you think about it,
It's cooking.
every award show we always have a woman. I feel like always outdresses the men, and so we tend to highlight that. So hopefully this year, they bring it. But LeBron. I want to say this is his first Met Gala.
As like co-chair?
So I was trying to find out if he did.
Has he never been?
No, because if you think about it, this is playoff time.
Yes.
And your boy's always in the playoffs. So we're hoping the Lakers are. Well, yeah, that's actually funky timing because
he'll miss a game.
hopefully
He doesn't mind.
I mean, that's like kind of crucial timing. I mean,
I think he missed
LeBron.
the game for his son's like state championship game. So there you have it. Come on. He's LeBron. He can get away with it.
Playoffs, not the playoffs.
We got Luka. Come on now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Another thing to mention about the Met Gala is that it's a major fundraiser for like future events and improving the Met Gala and the Metropolitan Opera. Yeah. And I think that this is going to leave a huge impact on the legacy of the Met Gala.
No, I agree. I think it's just an important, timely subject matter to be talking about. Have you ever been a part of a Met Gala before?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been a part of, I know, it's crazy. I've been a part of 2 Met Galas before, so it's exciting. It's a very like stressful process because you're working up until the last minute, and obviously there's a lot of politics that go into it specifically. But I've gotten the chance to work with a Canadian tennis player. His name is Felix Auger-Aliassime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got to help participate in that. It was like an invitation that came 2 days before the Met.
What did he end up wearing then?
Tom Ford.
No way.
Wow.
Tom Ford. I was not the lead stylist on it, but I helped facilitate a few things. But it was a great opportunity. And the Met it's like the hardest ticket to get. You know, everybody wants this ticket. It's like the biggest night of the year. It's what we call like our fashion Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I mean, I think it's every stylist's dream to say that they have a body on the carpet.
Considering that you've been and worked one, hypothetically, if you had a client going to this one, do you have any like fanciful or exquisite ideas that you would want to push?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing. Dandyism is such a broad, I think, subject matter. I mean, it's technically about tailoring. So I would really love to go. I mean, I'm born in 1995. So for me, like I grew up in the 2000s. See, listen, you know, Evan, what year are you?
89, baby. 80.
Wait, I'm not supposed to tell people. Wait, Lucas, bleep that out. No one's supposed to know how old I am. Shit.
But no, I grew up in, the 2000s. So like I'm deeply obsessed with like Farnsworth Bentley, Outkast. Like to me, that is like pure dandyism.
Did you grow up in Atlanta?
No.
Okay.
I grew up in Minnesota, out of all places.
Is this our second Minnesotan?
Who else is from Minnesota?
Kelsey Elstrom.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I did know that. I did know that. Yeah, I'm a Minnesota boy through and through.
I don't think it's Kelsey. I think it's Emily.
No, I think it is
Zemple.
I think it's
Okay, it's Kelsey.
Maybe, I think Emily could be also. Emily
Oh
so
my
we have
God.
3.
No, she's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Kelsey.
You
Yeah.
have this all wrong.
So,
Yeah.
so when did you move from Minnesota here?
So I went to college in New York. I'm an FIT graduate.
Whoa.
So I know.
Sick.
I went to FIT from 2013 until 2017. So I've been here approximately like 9 years now. But like my career trajectory has been like all over the place. So I've done every job under the sun.
What was your first one here in LA?
I worked at Farfetch. like before Farfetch took off.
Yeah.
Like before it was like what it is now, and it was still kind of like a very small startup. We worked out of Boyle Heights, in the most random office, and I worked pretty much just on the VIP side, so dealing with like all the high level clients, but it was like 3 people in my department.
Holy mackerel. What was your major in college?
Communications.
Oh my God.
Communications. It's the most, also, it's like the most gay job in the world. Like, as a gay guy, it's like the most gay job in the world. Like, that's what we sign up to do.
But what's funny though, I was initially a communications major in college. That's where all the girls are though.
1,000. See, listen, you know,
right.
I just want to be with the girls that, you know, like a broken wrist. And then I've got guys like Evan that, you know, they're in it, you know, also, to meet their future wives, you know?
Exactly.
Where did you go after that job? Because that's honestly now the legacy that you left with that company is massive.
Yeah, I think it's a good stain.
How did you move on from that?
So even better job that I got after, I heard through the grapevine that Dover Street was opening in LA. That's what I had heard. So I did my research and I landed at Dover when I was part of the opening squad.
God.
Part of the opening squad, yeah.
I used to go all the time. I
never
probably
go
saw
anymore.
you.
I haven't been in years. But yeah, no, I was working there kind of on the VIP side as well. So that was that. I think that's when I met you now.
Yeah, at Dover Street.
So there was like myself and then I think Charles and Danielle.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a hot second, went to Saint Laurent and did more of I worked on the sales side for like a hot second. And then I left Saint Laurent and just did my own thing freelance.
And that happened in the span of how many years?
Man, so I was at Farfetch for 2, Dover for 9 months.
Hey now.
It was a 9-month gig. It was fun though. It was a fun 9-month
Love those
gig.
kinds.
You know, it served its purpose.
No attachment. You just get it over with.
I was really young when I was there, so I was like, I had no attachment really at all. And then Saint Laurent, I was there for like 3 years. And then it was a fast 3 years though, because it was COVID.
It was quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
COVID times. It was very bizarre. But yeah. And then that's how I met. Really, that's kind of like how we started chatting though at Saint Laurent.
Yeah.
And then I started doing freelance work for a hot second up until the strike in LA. And then I have a big girl job now at a very fancy brand, which I love, Paul Smith.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my day-to-day job, and it's great. It keeps me busy. I get to make an impact on the industry in a fun way. And we're doing some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you meet your clients in terms of like styling at Saint Laurent? How did you go about branching off from that brand to doing your own thing?
So funny enough, I did not. I'm like someone that's hella social. I like go out a lot. I'm like not trying to be in the house.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that work in high places too. Like that's a plus. So I get invited to a lot of fun stuff. And I met, actually, funny enough, my first client in passing. His name is Ronan. He's a guy on like a show called 911. Mm-hmm. And
a show called 911.
Yeah, it's a big show. It's a big show. He's on 911. So that was like my first client. We hit it off. We did a lot of really incredible stuff. And then I have an incredible client now by the name of Trammell, who, funny enough, I read about him on like a blog, and they were shredding his style, like horribly. And I was like, who is this guy? And then come to find out we had a mutual. And it was a mutual he shared with as like his roommate in college.
Oh,
and that's incredible. Literally how the connection happened.
Perfect.
And we've been together now for like 3 years.
How's the relationship?
It's incredible. It's a great partnership.
Do you have to do like so since you kind of worked your way in without management or publicity, do you have to deal with? Does he have a publicist right now? Or
I work with. I mean, it's interesting because I think when you think from a stylist perspective, sometimes people assume that everything has to go through the publicist.
Yeah.
But I also do think if you have a very healthy relationship with your client, you end up also kind of, they become like your partner. Like you talk to them almost more than you talk to your family.
Yep.
That's why I asked, how's the relationship?
Man.
Because I learned from him. It's quite an intimate and like close-knit career and experience to dress another guy.
It is, man. You're up close and personal to everything. No. I mean, our dynamic is really healthy. I think it's because I was there before some of the things that are happening now are happening. So I think the time that we spent developing what we wanted to do has like definitely worked its way to now. And now we're like on a tear. So it's been like an exciting journey, but it's intimate in the essence of like you literally talk to that person all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's insane.
By the way, Trammell, his name is?
That is his name.
He's the guy on Severance, if you didn't actually put a name to that character. He plays Milchick, my favorite character. Have you seen the show?
I have seen the show.
It's like, no, I haven't seen
nervous to
anything.
say, if you didn't.
I've seen the show.
How does he dress in the show?
You know, it's very corporate. I think it's funny because Severance is one of those shows where, and I've talked to him about this, I don't know where and what time it's set in, right? No, none of us know what era it's in. So it could be in the future, it could be in the past, it could be now. But he dresses very corporate-like. So think button-downs, ties, very traditional, but he'll flip it, you know, I think this season it went a little crazier with a leather jacket. Got a little nasty with it.
I know, on the motorcycle.
Come on,
Woo-wee.
come on.
So thinking about the future and like, I don't know, he's going to the Met Gala, he's going to the Oscars, the Grammys, whatever. How are you going to contrast something so narrow-minded and like corporate, as you just explained?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I think we are big on, I'm one of those stylists. I'm really into pushing the boundary, but I also like to keep it realistic. I like really high-end brands. I mean, I think from what people see, I put them in a lot of Hermes, a lot of Zegna.
There was an Hermes look on your Instagram that I was like, oh my God.
Listen, Hermes is my happy place.
But and they've been great with lending. You've
they've
had
been
no
so
issues.
supportive. I obviously, again, you know, it's always important to think of like the time that we're in. I think the show is super culturally relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And so it helps that that's happening. But also, he's a very straightforward guy. So like, we don't want to overdo it. I think some men can handle a lot of fashion, but I also think there's a way to balance it out. So we've found a really, really beautiful way to balance out simplicity with also like challenging a little bit of the norm core of certain things.
Do you have a common strategy when working with clients? Like you have a silhouette or you have an idea that spans across all of your clients, or do you like interview each person and figure out what their personal style is and how you can accentuate? What's your process?
I think it's that. I
Okay.
think it's far more connecting and seeing where they, well, more so actually seeing where they want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously with celebrities, it's so much different than doing a celebrity versus doing like a personal client, because celebrities have to maintain an image and you're actually telling a story more so than like just putting clothes on them. A lot of these celebrities are also being provided advice from other people on their teams.
Yeah. Hence the manager and publicist.
You know,
situation.
so you're working with a lot of different people behind the scenes, but obviously I think certain relationships with clients, it's important to get an idea of where they want to take what they've done to the next level. So usually it's always an interview process of like, what brands do we like? What do we want to avoid? And then I kind of like take it from there. It's pretty fun.
You said something that struck a bell with me, which I think prompts the conversation about what the actual theme is. And you said that it's more than just wearing clothes. And dandyism is a term that was used to describe someone, often a man, who is extremely devoted to style and approaches it as a discipline. Dandyism was, I'm reading from a phone, by the way. Dandyism was initially imposed on black men in the 18th century Europe as the Atlantic slave trade and emerging culture of consumerism created a trend of fashionably dressed men.
I feel like when I was reading the theme for this and kind of doing a little more research on it, for whatever reason, I was like, dandyism kind of, I don't know, made me a little, not necessarily uneasy, but thinking from a straight guy's perspective, like, when you hear someone like be called a dandy, I almost think it has something to do with it. I don't know, maybe be called gay or whatnot. But like after doing more research, it's just essentially someone who genuinely cares about what they wear, right?
And expresses their mindset and views through which.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's where it's through the slave trade up to, going up to Europe or wherever they ended up going to, they were able to finally, obtain clothing and I don't know, dress somewhat better and actually care about what they were able to wear, right?
What are your thoughts on introducing this theme to the Met Gala, and what do you think it will do as an impact on fashion?
I think it's going to be good. I think, honestly, I've been having a lot of people ask me if I'm worried about some of the interpretations, but I hope people aren't ridiculous, right? I mean, ultimately, I think it's touted as a costume gala,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not meant to be too literal. I think I'm hoping people focus more so on like the eccentricity of what a dandy can look like, and then also tailoring. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
to me what's of the utmost importance. And we all know how tailoring can make or break a look. So that's what I think I'll be doing most of my judging on.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, well, why isn't this nipped at the waist? Or
Yeah,
where is the hem supposed to hit
I
here?
feel like whenever I send him pictures, because sometimes with you working at Paul Smith, I have clients who wear Paul Smith. I'll send him an image from the fitting and it'll be like, "Oh, can it be brought in? You are very good at that."
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
No, I
like
think
that.
that's like my expertise. I'm really big on, I'm a Virgo. So like for me, the details matter.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think when you work for a brand, right, like anyone gets, if you've done it, you know that you're ultimately representing the brand on the PR side. So it's making sure that whoever I'm working with, whether it be Evan or another stylist, that the overall look feels complete. So I think tailoring is just like one of those things that most people are now starting to pay attention to, but in the past haven't really put much effort into perfecting.
It seems that the Met Gala and like the themes are offering more challenges to the guests and the stylists involved, meaning like you keep mentioning that tailoring is so important, and like with the Catholic theme, accessory and like jewels were so important. So it seems that it's almost like a, I don't want to say a game, but like it's this physical mental challenge for people in the industry to like showcase the best thing that they can based on whatever they're given.
It always makes me think of like first Monday of May specifically, and the documentary, it was China Through the Looking Glass, I think. And there was so much worry that people weren't going to nail the theme and they were going to take it way too literal. And of course, I think there were people that probably did. Again, that goes back to me hoping and praying that no one does anything ridiculous. Like, I mean, but honestly, a little bit of shenanigans, I'm never mad at. Just a little bit.
Is there like a review process? Do you send pictures of your clients?
Yeah. So how it works is Anna Wintour will pair up a celebrity with a brand, and that's essentially you're working together between you and the stylist. I'm sorry, the stylist and the brand, or even just a celebrity if they don't work with the stylist, and that's how they'll work together and create these pieces. Like last year when I had Hemsworth and he was a co-chair, the theme was Sleeping Beauties, right? And now knowing what I know, I really would have wished I would have done like a lot more research, because we were paired up with Tom Ford, and if you really think about it at the time, like Tom Ford is basically just putting out suits, right?
Yeah.
And so there wasn't anything really super editorial and like other than like different colored suits, shirts, that kind of stuff that we were brought to the table. But in terms of really going for it, because I remember even like a couple weeks before, Chris was like sending me pictures. Like he's like, dude, like Bad Bunny's been wearing this, like with next to the people he's been with, right? He was like, man, I'm a little worried we're just going really basic. And luckily, like they really came through and they elevated the look that we were going for. It was essentially just an all white look,
But it was clean. It was tailored.
Exactly, yeah. And so when you looked at Bad Bunny's, for instance, he was with Margiela, and they really went for the piece, like the short story that it was based on. So yeah, so I mean, if you know, I wish, you know, always going hindsight's 2020, but no, it's an incredible experience just to be a part of it all and try to tell a story through a look, which is beautiful, you know.
I guess my question for you is like with Sleeping Beauties, was Tom Ford the first brand that was on the list, or was that what was offered?
So it was the only one that was offered at that moment in time. At that point in time, that's when Samantha was essentially working with him closely, and then after that whole press was when I kind of took him on more so. But I was lucky to be there with all that and be at these hotels. So like there's two hotels that a lot of the celebrities go to the event from. It's the Carlisle and the Mark, which is Upper West Side. But they shut down the streets, one, to make it easy for the shuttles to go from the hotel to the Met, but also for fans, because there are fans lined up outside to see all these looks. Paparazzi all out there too, so it's a really cool experience just to be part of it, and you have like a badge or all that stuff to kind of go in and out of these hotels.
Official.
So it's a very
official.
Yeah.
It's like Secret Service.
It is like Secret Service. Yeah. Should we get into some of these guys that are the co-chairs?
Would love to.
Okay. We obviously talked a little bit about LeBron. I'm out of the 5 guys, I'm really interested to see how far he takes it. One, because of his size, and obviously everything will be custom depending on what he's wearing.
Something tells me it's going to be Louis Vuitton.
Do you think Louis Vuitton's going to do all of them?
I don't know if it'll be all of them, but I think I have a strong feeling. I have my assumptions.
Okay.
I have assumptions.
Okay.
Because I pay attention to the celebrity style of it all.
I like it.
I feel like LeBron, being that he's always at all the LV shows, it just makes the most sense.
I'm all for that. And Rachel Johnson is his stylist. And then we have a mainstay of someone that we always talk about on a weekly basis, Coleman Domingo.
Our boy.
Wayman and Micah have done an incredible job with him. Do you know Wayman and Micah at all?
I know them very well.
Really?
I do. I know them very well.
They're our
They're
idols.
good friends.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
They're so good. And what they've done with him, one thing I think is going to be especially going into dandyism and all that, I think it's just the accessories, like these little details, whether it be it could be the brooches, it could be gloves, it could be these random little things on the outfit that I'm excited to see.
I agree. I think Coleman's like the epitome of it. I'll say, right? I think he's like the man to expect to show out.
I'm a little
His accessorizing has been
but think about the pressure
top
he
notch.
and Wayman and Micah might have going into this, right? Like they've been bringing every event has been their Met Gala.
And as we said, this is the Super Bowl of fashion. How the fuck are they gonna outdo themselves?
Yeah. But one of our favorites, at least one of my favorites, ASAP Rocky.
Do you know that one of my favorite looks was when I don't think it was his tour, but he made a cameo, an appearance at someone else's show, and he had all these pearl clips in his hair. It was, oh my fucking God, so fucking hot.
I remember when I was living in New York, his Long Live ASAP, that album to me was like everything. And I went to go see him perform, and he was in, and I didn't even know what Hermes was at the time, but he was in this just a green sweatsuit, green Hermes sweatsuit, and I was like, man, the guy's wearing a Hermes sweatsuit. So sick. Now we know. He was exactly. He was my teacher. And then we have Pharrell, who obviously I think Louis Vuitton for sure. Yeah. You know, that would be kind of dumb.
What if?
I know.
Come on.
He's like, you know what? I think I'll do Yoji.
Let me show up in FUBU. Come on.
And then we have Lewis Hamilton.
Personal favorite.
Very excited.
Why is that?
You know, I think the beauty about Lewis Hamilton is like he can't be put in a box. To me, he's similar to a Coleman in the essence of they're not afraid of fashion, but they approach it differently. And so I think Lewis Hamilton is like honestly about grandeur. He's very grand, but in a very subtle way. And
he's actually this
Very
would be
true.
his 9th or 10th time going to this.
And he bought a table. I want to say he bought a table.
Come on.
He bought a table like 3 years ago for Black designers specifically.
Come on.
And he like basically handpicked everyone that joined, and it's kind of big. Like he's really a big personality. I'm excited.
Thank you,
to see
Mr.
it.
Hamilton.
Do you know his stylist, Eric McNeil?
Is he still with Eric?
I think so. Eric did his when I was doing research on one look that they did when his first day at Ferrari, when he was in the black double-breasted suit, black tie. That was Eric, right?
It must be.
It
I
was
imagine. I believe it.
It was so good.
Lewis has like a great partnership. I mean, I know he's worked with Eric, and he's also worked with Law.
Yeah,
which is like
he worked with
insane.
Whoa.
See, that's what I mean.
He kind of goes through stylists a good amount. But yeah,
Which is like cool or not cool?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that there's something to loyalty, and like this is where I personally get on publicists a lot because they'll throw out
decision makers.
They'll throw out like, hey, you worked with so and so. I think they're okay. Thoughts on maybe moving over to someone else, right? So that's why I always have the issue with loyalty. Well, yeah, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I think ultimately, again, this goes back to what we were saying earlier. I think the bond with your client makes a difference more than anything. Because ultimately, they have a lot of different people feeding them things in their ear. Publicists, like, are the big decision makers that you never see, but they handle everything.
So what I'm hearing is that, like, your stylist is an unwritten contract, and you could have a different stylist essentially for every gig. Wow.
Well,
I thought that you had like a solid deal with the Hemsworth bros with David. No, you are like disposable.
No, I'm 100% disposable.
Oh, I feel so much better about myself. Okay.
I'm 100% disposable, but like I'm always like saving up arguments just in case things come up. I never do, but I've always wanted to just tell someone I have more job security than you do. So I'm genuinely not worried about that whole relationship. But so I had Sally take some favorite looks from the Met Gala, and I also threw out some of my own. I feel like mine are more contemporary.
And I was gonna say, like, yours are way more in the like experimental and abstract theme, and I'm sending you like just 3-piece suits.
Right. No, but so the first one he sent was Joshua Jackson, and this he could
2010 Joshua Jackson,
which is he looks flawless.
Diane Kruger, wow,
so good.
That dress is, oh my god, that dress is amazing.
And he's essentially just in a black tuxedo with an open...
It's velvet. It's a black velvet tuxedo with a gorgeous ass cuff tucked underneath of his white button-down shirt with a little bit of sleeve with the patent leather shoe. Oh my god.
I mean, this is great, but he could wear this to a premiere.
Looks like Daddy Warbucks. That's why
Come on, Annie.
So
at the Dolby Theater this month.
Yeah, exactly. So I went the other route. I went with the Jared Leto look that he did with Alessandro from Gucci, and essentially they're twins.
R.I.P. Alessandro's Gucci.
I know, but now he's at
Valentina. It's at Valentina.
Which is
It's translated.
Yeah. It definitely has. And he's in a cream, like double-breasted tuxedo, red bow tie, and it has a little bit of the flare at the pant. Like that was essentially one of the first like flare situation, like that time, you know. And
he
so
definitely played into it. Yeah,
exactly.
I really liked his Gucci.
Oh my god!
Particularly the show where he had all the twins.
Come on, man, that's like,
dude,
it's insane.
Oh, what a great show!
I think he disrupted fashion at the right time. Right?
100%.
Like
he did way more than Demna ever did at Balenciaga.
But that's why I was curious why he left Gucci at because he was only there for like 3 or 4 years.
Did he leave willingly?
Was that?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he left
did.
willingly.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think the brand essentially, to my knowledge, I think they assumed with everything happening with Succession, right? They wanted to hop on the quiet luxury train.
Yes, exactly.
And so I think that's what
he went way far out.
Okay.
And if you look at Milan and Paris Fashion Week from this year, it is so quiet and minimal. And all of these house brands went back to their true identity. I'm really excited to see what Balenciaga does in the next few years, because this theme of going back to the roots is, I think, going to introduce some really interesting looks.
Are you
excited
in the future.
to
see Demna's Gucci?
No, I don't like Demna, period. There's nothing about his style. There's nothing about his designs. I've never liked anything that he's ever done, even after all of the drama and the bullshit that happened with Balenciaga and he like had to rebrand. Like,
I used to love Vetements. You didn't like Vetements?
Well, okay.
It was good when it was good.
This is the dream podcast for so thank you for being here. This is perfect.
Of course.
I have this affinity to Vetements because the silhouettes are so like ingrained. The baggy, oversized, and long sweatpants are in my fucking body. But the over exaggeration and the dichotomy and the satire that he introduced to fashion, I think at one point destroyed it, and it almost was like the end of rock and roll in that baseball stadium when they threw all the records in. Oh no, the end of disco. The end of disco was a bunch of people throwing records in a fire in the middle of a baseball field. I almost thought that his show with the trash bag fucking purses, I was like, okay, I guess this is like imagery at its finest.
It became a bit more cosplay than it did anything else, right? Yeah,
totally. So I
used to be so deeply invested in his Vetements. Like I remember when he did, what was the show when it was Kanye, Lord.
Oh my God.
Everyone sitting front row. It was so random. And then he had the denim. I used to like lose my mind over those jeans. It was like reworked Levi's for like $1,800, but they were like absolutely everything.
I have
it's ridiculous. But
I have the only Vetements piece that I have is a sweatsuit, a top and a bottom, but unfortunately it's in collaboration with Gosia Rubachitsky. I fucking
haven't heard that name in a while. Wow. What was that other brand he had?
Who cares? Anyway, let's get back to the subject.
We're gonna bring you on every episode. Just
My God.
5 minutes.
Oh my God, this is great.
That's what it should be. 5 minutes with Chaise. Yeah. So Colin Firth, did you Google like 90s Met Gala? This is great.
No, well, this is 2011.
Okay. Oh, shit.
No, I what I did was I Googled two things.
Yeah.
The best men's looks of the Met Gala of all time.
Nice.
And then the craziest men's looks of the Met Gala of all time.
I got you.
And I obviously chose all just the best.
No, I think so. Colin, he's just basically in a black tuxedo. The only thing that really stands out
Pocket square, right?
is the pocket. Yeah, pocket square.
Well, hold on.
Unless you see something else.
So if you come close.
So yeah, if you get really close to the
if
image.
you come close, there's a really, really, really beautiful like metallic pattern on the suit jacket.
okay.
So
You know who made
do
this?
me a favor, go look at it.
I believe you.
Okay.
I can't move a lot in this suit and the boots. and everything.
It's like Chris is really small.
Tailoring.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially, to be different than a normal tuxedo, you're just choosing a different pattern or design to be different than a black
To
tuxedo.
slightly accent, to
Yeah,
slightly elevate and add a little depth and contrast to the look.
Right. And so ASAP, when he was with
oh, Chanel Amon.
Chanel, right?
An era.
Oh my God, he looked. This is.
This is a good one. This is a good look. So he black skinny tuxedo, is that what we're
I
looking
think
at
it's
right here?
navy
Was
actually.
this
Navy, yeah.
Dior Homme? Do we know? It almost gives like
honestly
a
looks like a
Chris. What was this like? What was the Dior Homme creative director at the time?
Oh, I don't know. In 2014.
Yeah, this almost looks like Dior Homme. It's so skinny.
Yeah. They have skinny jeans. I honestly wouldn't be surprised, especially with the Tom Ford show that just came out with Hader Ackerman.
Raph Simmons.
Wow.
Oh, there we
this
go.
is Raph. Wow.
Yeah. If we see some skinnier tailoring out there.
Timothy, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Timothy bringing it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this. And if you think about it, that was over 10 years ago.
Shout out his grill.
I know.
The grill.
Come on,
Bring
man.
grills back.
I think people have been trying, honestly.
Tyler the
sets.
Creator has the best grills always.
From that ASAP Rocky, we go to this ASAP Rocky. This I remember talking to you about this a while back. This is one of your favorites.
Oh, this makes me feel so warm and cozy inside, but also at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I if I walked around New York City in that,
I mean,
I would, the attention I would get and the amount of like personal satisfaction. I love when people look at me.
yeah. So essentially, it looks like he's wearing just a big puffy blanket. And honestly, this editorially wise, this would be so cool being shot somewhere. I don't know, it could be really grungy or whatnot, but just having that piece around you, I think could be really
feels
beautiful.
like very similar to like ERL.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it feels very ERL.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's interesting. It's ostentatious as hell.
Yeah. And then this is one of my favorite looks. I don't know, when I saw this, I just thought the juxtaposition of him in a tuxedo jacket with sweatpants and Converse, I love. So it's Timmy in a crop tuxedo jacket, white, and a white pair of sweatpants and white Converse. Yeah, I always like this one.
I love that we're on a like shortened named basis with
Timmy?
Timothée Chalamet, SAG award winning actor.
Yeah. So this is also one of my favorite ones. This was the Catholic theme that was
One of
not
my
too long
favorites
ago.
of
Heavenly
all
Bodies,
time.
man.
Yeah, Heavenly Bodies, exactly. Chadwick Boseman, this is when he was promoting Black Panther, or it had just come out.
It's my favorite look of all time.
And he and Ashley Weston had done an absolutely incredible job. Ashley's his stylist. And this is just such a beautiful piece. It almost looks as if the Pope would wear something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, this belongs in the museum.
It
I hope it landed. I know Versace did this. I'm hoping it landed somewhere where like it is never touched.
Yeah. No,
But it needs to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, he always he was essentially someone very similar to a Coleman Domingo, where they really took every red carpet very seriously and just showed out. And yeah, this was one of my favorites. We'll end on Mr. Bad Bunny. This was from a couple years ago. This is just essentially having fun with a tuxedo, just throwing some sort of art piece on it. just to be a little bit different than the normal tuxedos out there. So yeah, this is one of my favorites too.
This is good.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny always pushes the envelope. He's got a really cool team
Yeah.
of like dudes.
It's like they're like young. They're like all friends, right? I feel
Yeah,
like they're
there's
all-
two guys. I mean, it's really this guy named Storm who's dope. They've been together since Bunny was like not even who he is now.
Okay.
And then my homeboy Marvin does all his jewelry. So it's like a very small, close knit group of like 4 guys.
Amazing.
But like Bad Bunny can get whatever he wants, right? Like
Yeah, you'd think. Well,
After that Calvin Klein campaign, Jesus, Murphy.
but when you now that you say that, this doesn't really have anything to do with the Met Gala. For someone shopping like him, are they essentially buying everything, or are they kind of going through the loopholes of doing what they can to get samples or getting stuff for free?
I think it depends, right? I think musicians are much different than actors and athletes, right? So I think musicians are creating an archive more often than none of their looks.
Good point.
So I think these are things that live kind of, and they're a part of the cultural zeitgeist. So musicians are usually the people that push the needle. So I imagine it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
I mean, for like a Bad Bunny, he's super culturally relevant to not just like American culture now, but
Yeah.
also like the Latin culture. And so I feel like he's one of those people that's almost, if we look at it from like 20 years from now, he's probably going to be like Selena level status of like
100%.
untouchable.
100%.
So, I mean, I think for him, it's probably a balance of buying and gifting.
Yeah.
Before we move on from the Met Gala, I looked up all of the themes that have ever been produced at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Do you know, 1973, the first one the theme was The World of Balenciaga.
Wow.
Okay. Then we have in 1981, The 18th Century Woman,
Interesting.
which is fascinating to me. One of my favorites. Here we go. 1986, Dance.
Wow.
I have to look up
Yeah,
what
right?
some of those
We
looks
might need to
were.
run that one back.
Then we have 1995, which is kind of fascinating to me. Just haute couture.
Yeah. Just
That's it.
Yeah.
There's at some point 2013 punk chaos to couture. That sounds very interesting to me. And then I think one of my, as I said, the most recent one that I loved was Heavenly Bodies.
Yeah.
Yum.
So good.
Do you guys have any personal favorites?
I do. I mean,
Ooh.
the punk theme was amazing. I think punk was pretty divine. And then what was the one? Was it Gilded? It was like Gilded Glamour, I think. There's a look from Emma Corrin that was, I think they played in, what is it called? The Crown. And they wore like this customized Miu Miu look. It's insane. Like crazy proportions. Like none of it made sense, but all of it made sense. I like things that are like outrageous. And then the Comme des Garçons. That was good. That was good. Those are my 3 favorite.
The punk one wasn't the same one as the Carl one, was it?
No,
Carl was like 4 years ago.
Yeah. I did like the Carl one.
it was good.
Yeah.
Because he had passed pretty recently.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it was almost like an ode to just
Yeah.
everything that he's ever done. So, yeah.
I think this one's going to be interesting. I think this will be one of the ones that's talked about.
I
for a
can't
long
wait
time.
for colors and fabrics.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things that I'm really excited for. I know tailoring is probably the most major aspect, but adding that accessory of
I think
color
print,
and fabric.
Yeah, print
yeah.
and color. I think those are going to be, especially from like the brands that really are like experts at it. Like I think a Valentino is going to be interesting to see who they dress. I'm also curious. I always think like who these designers are bringing with them. I'm more intrigued.
100%. I think it's all going to be about the guest list. Like who's actually going to be going to this thing.
I feel like this might be, correct me if I'm wrong, this might be a little bit of a unique show because we've recently had some like tremendous moves in fashion. Like Hader Ackerman is now at Tom Ford, Demna is at Gucci. So are these newly assigned designers bringing their guests, or are they like, is it the previous designers?
I feel like you might know more
No,
than me
it
here.
would be. It's now. So whatever's
So
in house.
I think this is
now-
going to be
Yeah,
fascinating.
but I will say, Demna won't have Gucci yet, though.
Good.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry.
I want to say he'll start in after this next show.
I'm excited to see Chanel. I feel like Chanel will be there. And you know, Mathieu's there now.
Yeah.
From Bottega. So I feel like that could be really fun and interesting because Chanel's all about tailoring. It's like haute couture everything.
So do you think that they'll do? they'll explore the menswear side then.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Oh
think
my
so.
God. Oh my God. That would be
Like,
amazing.
huge.
Lil Uzi Vert will be so excited.
Well, that's where because Pharrell was one of the first to wear like an actual Chanel men's piece,
Man,
right?
yeah.
He
So
was.
what if he was like, you know what, if you guys are gonna do
You
it,
love
let me do
Pharrell.
it.
You know everything about him.
I'd lose my mind. I'd lose my mind. I'd die.
Where did Jonathan Anderson go?
Oh, where
It's
is
up in the air. I don't think anyone
he? No,
knows
he
yet.
hasn't landed yet.
Oh no.
But streets say that it's Dior. But that's
'Cause
just
there's
what
an
the
opening
streets
right
say.
now.
Yeah, that's just what the streets say.
Yeah, I hope so.
I can't confirm or deny anything. It's just what the streets said. I mean, I'd be curious.
No, but I think we've taken up enough of your time.
Thank you for having me.
Very gracious to have you here.
Genuinely appreciate, you coming, sharing your knowledge. We're gonna throw out a couple different links. I think for people to go and do their homework. I think would be a good idea for people to take their own time on it. I actually did buy the book, Monica L. Miller's 2009 book, Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity. That is essentially what this theme is about. They're using that piece. So like I said about the last year's that short story, that's what this is all about. So please do your homework and get some knowledge on this subject matter.
Do you want to shout out your socials,
Yes.
your
Oh my
website?
God.
Yeah.
You know, there are some big time celebrities watching this feed if you want to pitch yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Instagram is Chaise Boy, but the good thing is I have an I, so it's not going to be that hard to find me. ChaIse
That's right.
Y Boy. And then, just ChaiseDennis.com.
After you follow him, you can follow us at Manly Things Pod. Send us emails at info@manlythingspod.com and check out our website if you want to learn a bit more about us at
manlythingspod.com. Send your looks and we want to see what you guys are wearing on a day-to-day basis. Okay, this has been Manly Things.
Gotta think of some new ways to do this. Soar